Bad night if you go to see this musical, Bandstand. Now this takes place, this is in post-World War II.
1945.
Bunch of veterans, musicians.
And the boys are coming home. That's the tagline. It's 1945 and the boys are coming home.
Form a band. They team up with a war widow whose husband was in the band leader's platoon. And they're desperately trying to win a contest that they hope will propel them into the big time. Now, given that it's big band music, you would think they would be playing, you know, old standards, but they do not. And the musical, with music by Richard Oberacker and the book and lyrics by Rob Taylor and Richard Oberacker, yes, who also did the music. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Is wonderful and very enjoyable. There are times when the book can be a little loose, but
you left out the most important part of this. All of these guys had PTSD.
Orsis?
All of these, no, you left out what's wrong with these guys. Yes, they're trying to form a band. They can't get work. Some of them have a family, some of them don't have a family, but they're all suffering from shell shock, which was what it was called then, and now, of course, we call it post-traumatic PTSD. And you see it. Andy Blankenbuehler, who both directed and choreographed it, and he's Hamilton is all you have to say about him, and he's done so many other wonderful things as well. Shows it. He manifests PTSD by having guys hold on, soldiers hold on to each of the guys. 3 and 4 of them are dragging after the people as they walk. I never saw anything quite like that in my life. It truly made me understand what it feels like.
That did not make as strong an impression on me as it did you.
For me. Because when I saw the Vietnam War ballet and Moving On, I left the theater years ago in that musical. I couldn't bear the thought of them making this into... But this really took on something head-on that's still there today. You know, I'm sorry, I just had to say that. I did interrupt you. I'm really sorry about that.
Yes,
Beth Level did a wonderful job, Laura Osnes.
Oh, she's wonderful. Every time I see her on the stage, I couldn't wait till she got up and sang. And the number she sings, what happens is they realize that winning the contest, they would lose the rights to their music. So they sing a song that they would never have otherwise performed on stage, knowing it'll just hit too hard.
Yes, it's a gut-wrenching song.
And it does.
Song. Yes. And
it's a highlight of the score.
Right, right. And Corey Cott, who's a brand new name to me, plays this conflicted leading man who's actually there's a secret to his life that's really big,
and it comes out.
And it comes out, but it's just. And all the guys play their own music. They all play their own instruments, they have a small band. Some of them are big bands, but they have a small band, and they're just a number of instruments. I didn't know what to expect when I went in here, and I was a little offended by the fact that there weren't any black soldiers coming back in 1945, and we've talked about this. But that wasn't the story they wanted to tell, so they chose not to have that be an issue. Because if they're going to play jazz, you know, you'd think you'd have a couple of black guys in there. But anyway, so they didn't. But
you know, unfortunately, things were segregated in the 1940s.
Yes, they were. And
this does reflect that.
And David Korn's,
but I think one of the nightclub owners is played by a black.
Yes,
actor.
He is, but he also plays a waiter in another scene. I mean, he's the only guy in it, so the only black guy in it. But anyway, David Korns, who's a wonderful designer, designed it. Right. But Andy Blankenbuehler, I'm not sure if he directed before. He always choreographed before, but his work on this is just fine.
It's very kinetic, very busy. Again, if the book is occasionally slides over, the secret comes out. It has a dramatic effect, but not an overwhelming one.
Well, it's got to keep moving. It's a musical,
and they kind of have to push things under the rug very quickly just to keep moving. So it's not it's not as strong as it might be, but it's still a very.
I had no expectations at all. You know, you walk in with some like I had for Charlie and the Chocolate. I had no expectations, and I was very pleased by this.
Yes.
So was I. Pleasantly surprised.
So was I. So I had a very good time.
Yes.
And for what it is, you know, it's no My Fair Lady, it's no Matilda.
No, right.
But I still want to give this production, I'm surprised at myself, actually, 4 playbills.
I would give it 4.5. I thought the work was excellent, and I thought that some of the performances were even above that. I really did feel very strongly about some of them.